He only heard a buzzing sound in his ear, and then saw a thick stick the size of an arm hitting his head straight. His skull instantly exploded, and the red and white splashed all around. The remaining person was so frightened that he turned around and ran, shouting for help while running. But before he could run 2 steps, there was another buzzing sound behind his ear. And the next moment the person also fell to the ground directly. The black shadow retracted a 2-meter-long straight wooden stick and thrust it into the grass with a puff. Calmly cut off the heads of the 2 men, used his big stick to pick up the 2 heads and carried them behind him. He bent down and carried the woman's corpse on the ground on his shoulder, and then strode towards the depths of the jungle. In the residential area of the Lee tribe, several men were gathering together to make headdresses. One of them suddenly asked, "Did you hear anything just now?" Another person said a little uncertainly, "It seems like I heard it. It seems like someone was shouting to kill someone." Then someone else discovered that the 2 who threw the corpses hadn't come back yet. The few people were all stunned, and then looked at each other, and went to see together. When a few men cautiously walked to the mass grave, all they saw were 2 headless corpses. The corpse of the woman, who had just been thrown here, had also disappeared without a trace. Everyone was taken aback, and quickly went back to tell the leader. When a few people carried the 2 headless corpses in front of Lee, he angrily smashed the pottery bowl in his hand and said with gritted teeth, "Damn, it's that person again. When I catch him, I will definitely cut off the flesh from his body and eat it in front of him." On the 4th day after the spring gathering ended, Chan, the leader of the Bian tribe, came to say goodbye to you and the Han tribe, because the Bian tribe's residence was nearby, and they could no longer walk with the Han tribe's team. You led corner and stood aside, quietly watching Little Dai and Chang hugging each other and saying goodbye. Finally, Chang bowed to you again and left with the Bian tribe. Little Dai stood beside you, holding your hand, watching the departing back of the Bian tribe, silently shedding tears. You gently squeezed Little Dai's hand and said to her, "When you miss them, I can take you back to the Bian tribe to see them." Hearing this, Little Dai excitedly hugged your neck and kissed you on the face. "You're so good to me." After that, the team continued to set off and kept walking until evening, when the team finally arrived at the foot of the slope of the Orphan's Peak. At this time, Dolly and Red Great also rode horned deer and came to your side. You nodded to the 2 of them and said, "Start from the back." The 2 nodded, turned around, and left. Little Dai sat in front of you. Seeing this scene, feeling inexplicable, she couldn't help but ask, "Who is that person wearing the silver tin crown? What are they going to do?" You didn't answer, but took Little Dai riding a deer, came to the side of the Thunder Beast's grave, and then stopped there and didn't move. Little Dai looked back suspiciously, and then he saw a scene that surprised him. Rat Great and Dolly, and the people from the hunting team, walked past the square formations one by one. They called